Yes! 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 Shout out to Daniel Bryan for this one. Yes! 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 Oh, name of the game is fun! Fun! We needed this! Now, right off the bat, before we even get into this review for Solo, a Star Wars story, little bit of backspace here. I like The Force Awakens. I was so-so about Rogue One, and I fall into the 50% of people who actually thought there was a lot of poeticness to The Last Jedi. However, we can all agree that the last two Star Wars movies, whether you like them or hate them, like me, one I liked, didn't hate the other one, but didn't really like it, doesn't matter which side of the fence you fall on, one thing is for sure about the last two Star Wars movies, they have been divisive at best. Star Wars needed something that was light-hearted and fun and what I believe is going to be a pretty universally loved movie. Solo delivers. Now, there was so much problems going into this movie with rumours of Alden Ehrenreich needing a trainer on stage. The fact that Phil Lord and Christopher Miller got fired and Ron Howard had to come in and reshoot 80% of the movie. So I was obviously, like a lot of the world, thinking, oh God, where are we going here? Star Wars come off the rails. No, this movie, from the moment that Lucasfilm logo appears, is just such a world of fun. And it's what Star Wars fans, I think, needed. A bit of levity in the franchise. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be screaming, well, did we really need a Han Solo movie? First off, do we really ever need any movie? No, movies are a form of art that's essentially made by Hollywood producers to make money, but that's a different topic. Do we need this movie? No. Do we need any movie? No. Do we enjoy this movie? In my humble opinion, yes. But the main question is, did we need a movie in the context of, well, we kind of know what Han Solo's background is. He's a smuggler, we meet him as a youngster already in episode 4, right? Wrong. There's a lot more to this character. Even if you have read all of the comics and the books that have him as a younger version than what we know in episode 4, you're still going to get a lot of kicks out of this. The story picks up in Corellia, and it's essentially picking up with his escape from the planet, how he becomes part of the Empire, how he gets thrown out of the Empire, how he encounters Chewbacca. All of these things are shown in the movie, and I'm not spoiling anything for you here. This happens literally first 10 to 15 minutes. It's fascinating, and it's how he gets roped into this heist with this other group of mercenaries, how he learns essentially the tricks of the trade, and it really is an origin. It really is about how does this kid become Han Solo. Now, what was everyone's major worry with this movie? How in the blue fuck do you get someone to replace the legendary, the iconic Harrison Ford as this character? Against all odds. Alden Ehrenreich does an amazing job in this movie. He really does. From the way he's got his facial expressions right, to his mannerisms, to his delivery, to his comedic timing. Han Solo has got some comedy chops to him, and Alden Ehrenreich embodies that character. And I have to say, this goes for all of the other cast members who we are seeing portray younger characters. Most notably, this isn't going to come as any surprise because let's face it, the world loves Donald Glover, and Donald Glover is awesome. Seriously, close your eyes in the cinema and you can literally hear Billy D. Williams. He's done such a good job of capturing the tonal intonations, of capturing his voice patterns. He literally sounds like him, and by sounding so much like him, you never think you're just copying him. What you actually think is, well, you've become Lando Calrissian. Now, I'm not even going to go down the argument of saying, were they better or were they not as good as the original cast? Not the point. The point is they do justice to characters that we know and love. There's really not a lot I can say that's wrong with this movie. And I don't want to go into too much detail because especially with something like Star Wars, I know how touchy people get. Rightfully so. I wouldn't want anyone to spoil it for me too. So to avoid going into like the minute plot details which would really ruin everything for you, and to avoid giving away specific moments, what I'll just say is, as a package, this movie really delivers. It gives you all of the little Easter eggs and nerdy moments that you need as a Star Wars fan, that you go in there, especially if you are someone who watches things like Star Wars Rebels or who's read the comics. You will see things in this one, you're like, oh, I recognise that, that's cool. There's a few of them that happen in the first few minutes, and with me I was like, wow, if we're nerding out that hard this early on, thumbs up, keep going, and it does. But it balances action and drama and comedy very well. There's two very big action set pieces. One we know obviously is the Kessel Run, and Jesus fucking Christ, holy shitosaurus, the Kessel Run is incredible, as well as the other big action set piece. The drama is very, very good. The interpersonal relationships between the two characters is excellent. Most notably, that which I believe to be the absolute shining star of this movie is the relationship between Alden Ehrenreich, not call him that, between Han Solo and Chewbacca. Now, we've been waiting since all the way back in episode 4 to see what I call the real Chewbacca. We've always been told about the mystique and the myth and the grandiose fear that the Wookiees can bring. You see it in this one. The beast is unleashed. But aside from how devastating Chewbacca is, the chemistry between them, it's magic. It's absolute magic what they have when they're on screen together. Quite frankly, the only real thing that I could really say that this movie is guilty of is needing a little bit of time on the snipping room, on the editing room floor. It does feel a bit long in some parts, it feels a little bit disjointed. There's no ropey editing, but you just feel that some scenes could have been tightened up, taken out a bit. But given the production, let's call it hell, that this movie went through, it's understandable that it's got a few little moments of ropiness. Obviously no movie is perfect, but for the sheer elation and overall fun I had, the only real thing I've got to criticise is the length. Shorten it a bit and it would have been close to a perfect Star Wars movie. Why am I going to rank it? Doesn't matter. I'm not getting into all of this. Is it better? Is it not better? It's the movie that I think the Star Wars fans need right now. I don't think this is going to divide people. And I really think that if you go in there and come out and say, Alden Ehrenreich wasn't a good Solo, you're a wanker. He's not Harrison Ford. He's just, I'm not even going to say just as good. He's Han Solo. He's your new Han Solo. Get over it. He delivers a fantastic performance. Don't go in there and compare. Don't go in there and holding Han Solo up on a pedestal going, if it's not as good as Harrison Ford, I'm not going to like it. Because you're then not going to like it. Because guess what? Alden Ehrenreich isn't Harrison Ford. Donald Glover isn't Billy D. Williams. They're different actors. Jack Nicholson can play the Joker. Heath Ledger can play the Joker. They're both great. Right? Right. In conclusion, guys, this is a very high one for me. I'm going to score Han Solo 9 out of 10 for the sheer fact that I've got very little to criticise it on. The acting's good, the action's good, the drama's good, the comedy's good, the embodiment of the characters is good, the interpersonal relationships are good. It's quite flawless, really, in terms of just going in to watch a summer movie, being blown away by the big action set pieces, having your mind melted a bit by the geeky goodness and Easter eggs that are in there, being serviced as a Star Wars fan, this is exactly what you want. Is it going to be talked about, you know, when we get to the stage where Disney are putting out 2 Star Wars movies a year? Who knows? Is it going to be talked about years down the line as one of the greatest Star Wars movies? I don't think so. But I think people are going to look back and talk about Solo with a lot of joy and a lot of happiness. I think this movie succeeds where it needed to succeed. It could have done with tightening up a little bit. And fine, if I'm going to be really pedantic, there was 1 or 2 moments where I thought the effects could have been touched up just a tad. But all of that doesn't matter, because it's just such a world of fun. And the last thing I want to mention, I've never been in a cinema, because I was lucky enough to go to the press screening here in the UK. I know you've had it in the US a while. Good job. We get treated less well here in the UK, so it's come out a little bit slower. But when I was at the press screening, there's a cameo at the end from a character who I've always really loved. I'm not going to say who the cameo is, but the fun thing about press screenings, if you've ever been to one, is that people get really into it. You get a lot of applause, you get a lot of woo, a lot of cheering. I've never heard a cinema go silent the way this cinema went silent when the cameo appeared. Not sadness, not excitement, just, oh my God, they did it. They've done that. I can't believe it. Yes, there is a cameo at the end that is going to throw your mind into the galaxy far, far away, and you're going to feel oh so happy. So that's my opinion on Solo, a Star Wars story, guys. Over to you guys. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Click the poll right here if you agree with my score, or if you'd rate it higher or lower. And please leave your thoughts and your comments below, because I'd love to know, as always, what you guys think of this movie. And until next time, from Nini Color of the Silver Screen Dudes, see ya!